You can measure the size of an elephant. You can clock the speed of a cheetah, but you can't quantify the heart of a...
Kings, queens, and in-betweens. Welcome to Dr. Boxing Talk. Stream starts now.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, 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 yo. What it do, what it do, what it do. Good, great, grand evening to y'all wonderful, beautiful people out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all coming and kicking with me. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hermanos, mi hermanas, brethren and sistren, ladies and lads, kings and queens, and everything in between. Yes, sir, man. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. The doctor's in the house. Let's get right, man. Let's get right. Let's get right, man. We are here, man. Sorry, you might hear a lot of popping. I got the windows open trying to feel this good breeze, and the people out there doing fireworks at the crib. So, well, down the street a little bit, but it's still loud, so y'all might hear it. I don't know how they out there, though. It was just pouring. It was just pouring. So it was wet out there with the fireworks, man. Shout out to my guy, man. Hit this roll call real quick. We got my brother, my partner, my pal, Ty Moore, set in the building. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir, man. What it do, what it do. So please, before we start, you know, we always got to say our prayers. So please join me and bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for bringing us into this evening safely. Towards the end of the week, Lord, we ask that you continuously protect us and let us finish the week strong. You know, and approach every day and every moment with a renewed vigor, with renewed purpose, with motivation, dedication, and most importantly, discipline, Lord. And with discipline, you could accomplish anything, Lord. But most importantly, with faith and discipline is unstoppable. So we ask you that you give us unwavering faith, and you give us immaculate strength to not just endure the obstacles that we will face, but also persevere and set goals that we can actually see through and fulfill. You know, all of our goals that have pure intentions. You know, we ask you that you continuously bless us, and we thank you for your mercies, and we thank you for your grace, and we ask you for continuous forgiveness every time we step off the path that we're supposed to be on, and we ask you to also not only forgive us but also set us straight through Jesus' name, amen. And I also want to say rest in peace to Michael Madsen, the actor, just passed away, and all our fallen soldiers. You know what I'm saying? Especially the my family, Perez family, and anybody else, and McCullough family, and every other family that's had a loss recently, man. You know. But yeah, man, let's get right to it, man. Let's get right to it. So we have a couple little updates. Not so much from this morning, but a couple. You know what I'm saying? We got the hair tied back today. Yeah, feel me? You know. Trying to keep it out my face and out my way. It's a little hot. I was out there with my dog and stuff. So, but yeah, man. So, you said smack the like button, wipe your feet as you come through the door. The doctor's in the building. Talk to him, man. Talk to him, man. Shout out to my guy Ty, man. Yes, sir, man. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the support, man. But look, though, check this out, man. So, we have. I saw this morning, but I didn't want to talk about it until it started picking up a little bit more steam and momentum, and I think it is now. I don't know if it's true. You know, me, myself, and the wonderful dope panel that we had earlier today, we discussed the tank fight and the problems with it. The fact it's not officially announced, right? But it is anticipated to be on August 16th, about a month and less than a month and a half away, right? You know, about a month and 2 weeks. August 16th, today's the 3rd, so that's what 13 more days, or a month and 13 more days, you know, so about a month and a half for a fight to be not having an official date announced is that's kind of scary, especially for a fight of this magnitude, with it being the much anticipated fight between Tank and Lamont Roach. And you know, we've been hearing about some undercards, potential undercards. I've heard Jermell Charlo on the undercard. I've heard some other people on the undercard. Now I'm hearing Frank Martin on the undercard. And, you know, I heard that before, but now I'm hearing an opponent, and it would be Rances Bartholomew. And Rances Bartholomew, man, I think that fight is fire. And I'm gonna tell you why I think Rances Bartholomew versus Frank Martin, if that fight can actually come into fruition, is fire. You know what I'm saying? The Cuban contender going against the American contender, Frank Martin. I think that's dope because that's a good bounce back fight. That's a good fight for your debut at a new weight class, because he said he's gonna be at 140. So those are good on those counts. But also too, Bartholomew is a big puncher. You know what I'm saying? He's a boxer puncher, not a huge puncher, but he's a good enough puncher to where you can't afford to get touched by him. You might be in trouble. You know, I'm not saying that he's some knockout artist, but he's a big enough puncher and decent enough to suffice as a good bounce back fight and a good welcome to the division fight. But most importantly for me is that he fought one of the current champions at 140-pound division not too long ago. That would be Gary Anton Russell, the current WBA champion. And I think that's great. You know, I think his last fight was against Jose Carlos Ramirez. That was the last fight I saw, and he lost that fight. But if he had a fight with Gary Anton Russell, and they were going back and forth up until Gary Anton Russell stopped him, you know what I'm saying? But I think that'd be a good little measuring stick and a possible common denominator for a potential fight between Frank the Ghost Martin and gosh dang Rances Bartholomew. I mean Gary Anton Russell. I think that's a great fight, man. Can you imagine WBA defense for Gary Anton Russell going against Frank the Ghost Martin? Man, I think that'd be a great fight. You know what I'm saying? Of course I'm thinking ahead, because obviously that won't happen if Frank Martin mess around and loses, you know, or Gary Anton Russell has another fight and he loses. But I'm just saying, just going off of the potential excitement and the potential sparks that could fly with that fight, man, that'd be a great fight. I'm telling you, I like Gary Anton Russell. I like Frank Martin. I don't know who's gonna win that, man. I'm not just necessarily by default leaning towards Gary Anton Russell either, but you know me though, I always thought the Ghost was good, and I think he has the potential to be a champion again. I think that's a good fight. I think the smart money would be on Gary Anton Russell. I think he should be the favorite, but man, I don't know now. I don't know. That's a tough fight. Shout out to my brother Oster in the building. What's good, Oster? What's good, my brother? Ty says it's not snitching no more. Most of the card has been leaked. Yes, exactly, Ty. Exactly. Shout out to Ty. Most of the card has most definitely been leaked.
Yeah,
that's a fact, man. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to the fight, man. August. I mean, like I said, I think the card's gonna be good, but it's PBC. PBC cards are usually good, right? You know, and whether you're talking about the Caleb Plant Resendez card with Jamal Charlo on there returning, going against Thomas Cornflake Lamana, and the other cards, you know, other fights on that card, is usually PBC has or the David Benavidez and Dave Morrell card, or the Gervonta Tank Davis or Frank Martin card, or the Gervonta Tank Davis or Roach card. PBC cards are usually good, and Manny Pacquiao Barrios card. So they don't happen as often as some of their promotional counterparts like Matchroom and Top Rank and so on and so forth. But they're usually deep cards as far as recognizable faces go. So I expect Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamar Roach rematch to be a good card again, you know. And we just hoping that it gets an official date stamped, signed, approved, and delivered. You know what I'm saying? That's all we hope for, man. But I think it will come into. I think it will happen shortly. But you know, it just I don't know why they're dragging their feet. You know, but yeah, Frank the Ghost Martin versus Francis Barthélemy for a fight and debut at 140. That's a great fight, man. You know, I think it's good. So we'll see how it goes down, man. And shout out to my guy Ty. He said it is what it is, man. And, hey, the card has been mostly leaked. He says, yeah. So I'm just looking forward to that fight, man. I'm just looking forward to that fight. Frank Martin, his return. And I think he can return back to championship or he was never a champion, but I think he can get back to becoming a champion contention form, get back in contention for a championship, and you know what I'm saying, potentially be a champion, man. I look forward to it. Now, I want to move on to before we get to the main topic, Dmitry Bivol. I want to talk about the news, man. They done locked my boy up, man. How they did my boy like that, man? Why they do my dog like that, man? Someone out there snitching on Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., man. Don't do JCC Jr. like that.
All right, I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
Man, shout out to Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., bro. You know, hey, man, he out here locked up like Akon, man. And, you know, the reason why, you know, first off, man, you know, it's getting hot out here, man. So everybody keep your head on the swivel and just be careful, you know what I'm saying? Because we want everybody to, you know, we're all human at the end of the day, you know, no matter what side of the fence you're on or what side of the border you're on, you know what I'm saying? We should never lose our humanity. And, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, some people are for the enforcement of rules and laws and regulations, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to all my brethren out there, brown, white, black, and everything in between, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. And but the reason why I think this is funny in particular is because you telling me all this time Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was under investigation for affiliation with the cartel and being involved in some criminal organization. You tell me that they had warrants for this man's arrest? And you tell me that ICE was watching this whole time for pending deportation, but he just had a fight in California with Jake Paul? So you telling me that I'm supposed to find it's supposed to be a coincidence that he just happened to have his fight and then all of a sudden now he's on your radar, like the warrant was just processed in the last few days? Like, it's just crazy to me, man. So you know, it's just always big business, and business is always prioritized and not what is right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's crazy, bro, because I wonder if this is some type of punishment of some type of big wig had money on Chavez Jr. and he messed around and lost, and now they're trying to get him up out of here and punish him. You know, I just think it's crazy. You tell me it's not like he was hiding. Not like he's a fugitive or something like that. He was promoting a fight. He had a fight, and they didn't step in anytime then. You want me to think it's just a coincidence now? It's like, come on, bro. Like, somebody playing games with this stuff, man. But that's all it is. It's just one big game. Like I said, no matter what side of the fence you on, whether you approve or disapprove, I think people should be treated better than how they are being treated. You know, I think all people deserve to be treated like humans. You know, and I can't say that's necessarily happened all the time, but you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, you know. The fact that the man got snatched up right after his fight, bro, like he owed somebody money, is crazy, man. So I don't know how I feel about it, but I will say, hey, it is wild, man. You know, and so Jake Paul, you know, he chimed in on it, and he said that Canelo is next. You know, first he put the American flag, and then he said Canelo is next. So people are wondering if he was trying to be some type discriminatory, trying to say that Canelo was next because he's Mexican. I didn't take it like that, man. I feel like some people be reaching, and I get it. You know, it's shock value and it's provocative. I'm not saying, I don't know Jake Paul personally, so I don't know what he meant by that. But that's not where my mind went. My mind, when I saw him say that Canelo was next, I thought he was saying like Canelo is the next fight, which doesn't make sense. Don't get me wrong, because you know Canelo is not only having a fight coming up with Terrence Bud Crawford, but he also is involved in a deal that's supposed to be contractual, and I don't think that would involve Jake Paul, considering that it involves Turkey Al Sheikh. So it doesn't seem like it makes sense logistically speaking, but that doesn't mean that, you know, you gotta understand Jake Paul was in talks with Canelo prior to him signing with Turkey. So I just think some people pushing their own agendas and they want to get some stuff off their chest and try to be funny, and they're trying to put words in other people's mouths. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that Jake Paul did or did not say that, but I didn't take it like that, man. I just took him saying Canelo's next, like he's gonna get the Canelo fight sometime soon in the future. I didn't take him as him saying, oh yeah, Canelo's about to get snatched up by ICE. You know, I just think people are wicked and they try to impose their feelings on and their emotions and their sentiments on somebody else, you know, and try to make it seem like, oh, that's how I interpret it. No, you didn't interpret it like that. You just want to say some wicked stuff, you know, but it is what it is, man. You know, shout out to my guy Oster. Yes, sir, man. Oster upgrading his membership to the Masters. of Boxing Talk. Come on now, big upgrade on the membership. Not only was it a renewal, he's committed to 30 more days. Shout out to my guy Oster for renewing that membership.
I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. The show goes on.
Yes, sir, man. My guy renewed, but he also upgraded as well to he went from the small membership to the bigger membership to the bigger membership. Yes, sir. My boy arriving like the big boy, you know what I'm talking about? The big, my dog came through with the big heat. Shout out to my brother Oster, man. I appreciate you, brother. Shout out to you, man. Anubis said Canelo would have killed Jake Paul. Absolutely. You know, my boy Cinnamon, he would have destroyed Jake Paul. I mean, but it's not just Canelo though, right? Any prominent, actual, legitimate boxer, especially a champion of caliber of Canelo, would definitely destroy Jake Paul. You know, I salute Jake Paul for what he's doing. But he knows what to stay away from. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna stay away from guys who like Zerto Ramirez, Job Ataya. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that's like in his division that's a serious contender. That doesn't have to be a champion, it can be a serious contender. Ryan Rozicki, he won't fight. You know what I'm saying? But I do think he'll fight Canelo, obviously, because that's the biggest bag. Just like he'll fight Gervonta Tank Davis, his biggest bag, and Anthony Joshua, those are big bags. If you notice, it's not a coincidence that he's calling the legitimate boxers that he's calling out are three of the biggest revenue generators in the game. You know, Canelo being the biggest, and AJ and Tank being the second and third biggest respectively, as far as economically speaking of boxing. You know, so I think that he's gonna, you know, that's probably gonna be his exit strategy, is to fight a guy that he knows he's gonna lose to, but he's going to generate a lot of money, so therefore the loss will be worth it. You see what I'm saying? And I agree with him, but I got to salute him as far as being a promoter and putting on for boxing, especially women's boxing. You know, I do think that's dope. As far as his fights are spectacles, but even on his fights, you know, he has pretty good undercards as well. So I think if you could separate the two, yes, his fights are nonsensical. His fights, I ain't gonna lie, his fights are weak and garbage and a bunch of
Bullshit.
But also too, he has good promotion. You know what I'm saying? And he's putting on for sport, bringing more eyes to the sport. So that's always good. He said Tank will not make 195. He can't even make 140. Well, okay, so Anubis, you know better than that, right? When you have a weight limit, it's a limit, meaning you can't go past it. It doesn't mean that you have to make 195. You see what I'm saying? So when you fight at 168, you could come in at 154. You just can't go past 168. So he doesn't have to come in at 195, bro. You know better than that. You know what he have. That's why the weight classes are separated by weight limits. If Tank and Lamont Roach are fighting at 135 and Tank wants to come in at 134, that's fine. If Lamont Roach wants to come in at 130, that's fine. Just as long as you don't pass 135. So if Tank and Jake Paul fight at 200, he doesn't have to make he doesn't have to come in at 200 pounds. He just can't surpass 200. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but anyway, I mean, if they fight, it'll be an exhibition anyway. So nobody really cares about that. It'll be an exhibition. I hope that fight doesn't happen, but I think it will, you know, unfortunately for us. You know, he said, since Jake Paul is considered a real boxer now, he can't fake no more fights, huh? Since Jake Paul is considered, no, I think he still can, because, you know, I think it's going to be a little bit harder because he's part of the rankings. You know, he's ranked number 14, but in the WBA, but you know, he doesn't have to keep the ranking. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing. You know, he doesn't have to keep the ranking. He doesn't have to hold on to it if he doesn't want to. So, you know, it just adds some legitimacy to his illegitimate career. And I think that part is disrespectful to the other guys that like rank 15, rank number 13 and 12 and 8 and stuff like that. I think it's disrespectful to them because he's fighting guys that are 60 years old and Mike Tyson, guys that are fresh off a 10-year crack binge like Julio Cesar Chavez, just coming out of rehab, you know, fighting guys that for the most part having their debut as a boxer, you know what I'm saying? And if it's not their debut, then they're coming off a long extended hiatus, or they're part-time boxers, you know, and he's being ranked off of that. And I feel like that's disrespectful to the sport and the other fighters that earn their positions through merit, but it is what it is, man. So I don't know, man. I think but I think you also got to be able to look past that as well, man. He said walks around at like 160. He said they can come in at 90 pounds if they choose. Yeah, exactly. You don't have to. You just can't surpass it. It's a weight limit, not a weight requirement, if that makes sense. You don't have to match that weight class to fight in that weight class, you know. So yeah, Tank walks around at like 160. I don't know what that has to do with him fighting at 195. That still doesn't mean that. I don't know what that means. Walk around weight and fighting weight are two different things. You know, you can walk around at whatever you want. You know, Ricky Hatton, they used to call him Ricky Fatten. He walked around at 210 pounds. He fought at 140. So, you know, it doesn't matter what you walk around at, it matters what you fight at, you know. But yeah, Tank definitely gets bigger, just like most boxers get bigger when they're walking around, you know. But yeah, man, so I think Jake Paul, I don't think he meant anything by the Canelo comment. Was it bad timing? Yeah. Could it be interpreted like that? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he did mean it like that, but that's not how I received it. You know, maybe Jake Paul did mean it like, you know, try to say like Canelo could get snatched up. I don't know, but I didn't take it like that, but some people out there are, you know. But now moving on to the meat and potatoes, man. Let's get it, man. Benavidez. We talked about Benavidez fighting Yard, right? We talked about Benavidez fighting Anthony Yard this morning. That was announced, right, for his WBC light heavyweight title. I love that fight. That fight is great, right? But coincidentally, chat, you know, I just saw today, which we already knew this as well. We talked about this before, but Dmitry Bivol is probably going to get stripped. You know what I'm saying? He's on the cusp of being stripped. But let me close this. Let me close this window because they wildin'. Okay, can y'all hear that? Can y'all hear the fireworks or no? Oh, it's not too loud. It's not too loud. Let me know if it gets too loud and I'll close the window. But yeah, so Jake Paul, sorry, not Jake Paul. So David Benavidez is fighting Anthony Yard, right? And he seemed to move on from trying to interrupt the Bivol and Beterbiev rematch, right? And shout out to Benavidez because he doesn't have to fight. He doesn't have to fight Anthony Yard. He's already a champion. You know, he could take a tune-up, a soft touch fight in the interim to wait for the winner of Beterbiev and Bivol trilogy. That's perfectly fine. But David Benavidez being the beast that he is, you know, that's why I don't really get why some boxing fans don't like him. You know, being the beast that he is, he wants to fight a live dog in Anthony Yard. Anthony Yard only has 3 losses. One loss was to Beterbiev, no shame in that. The other loss was to Sergey Kovalev, no shame in that. He was a champion. And then he lost to Lyndon Arthur, and he avenged that loss against Lyndon Arthur. He beat Lyndon Arthur not once to get it back, but then he beat him again to go over. So he's 2-1. So Anthony Yard is definitely a live dog. He picked up boxing late, so he's a little rough around the edges. But as far as being an athletic, powerful guy, man, Anthony Yard is him. Shout out to my guy Oster. He said he calls him the tank or the juggernaut. You know, he's built that way. And so the only thing that's questionable about Anthony Yard is that his gas tank, his stamina seems to be very limited. And so I think that's going to play a big role in this fight. Now, this is a big guy, right? And Dave Benavidez is a big guy too. He's no small dude. But this is that light heavyweight. Will Benavidez win? I think he's going to win. Is he going to stop him? I don't know. If he does stop him, I think it'll be because of his work rate. Like I said, Anthony Yard, he seems to tire out in the later rounds. It's something that's been haunting him, you know, throughout his career. And I think that has a large part to do with him, his lack of refinement. You know, the fact that he's not really polished. If I'm not mistaken, I think he only had 1 amateur fight. And if you have 1 amateur fight, you essentially had no amateur fights. So, but I look forward to this fight. I think it's great. However, I did see this though. Like I said, Bivol is about to be stripped. As soon as he signs for the Beterbiev fight, and that fight is actually official, the IBF with President Daryl Peoples have come out and said that Michael Efert's mandatory will be enforced.
Bullshit! Bullshit! Bullshit, 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 bullshit.
So I say BS, right? But it's BS for the fans, you know, because we don't really know Michael Efert. If you walk around the YouTube boxing space and you ask somebody, or in the middle of the mall, who is Michael Efert, they're only going to respond like this.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that? You know damn well who I am. Who the fuck is that?
That joke makes me laugh every time. But that's the only appropriate response, right? I know Michael Efert somewhat, you know. He's relatively unknown, though. But all that being said, he does deserve the opportunity. He's been the mandatory for a little while now. If you remember when Beterbiev beat Bivol, Beterbiev was actually ordered to fight Michael Efert. But IBF allowed them to step aside to prioritize the rematch for Undisputed again with Bivol. So now they're having a trilogy, and they're like, hold on now, you know, we have to kind of give somebody else another chance. And that's one, like it or hate IBF, you can love them or hate them. I typically like them and stand by them because, you know, they are trying to give guys like even an unknown like Michael Efer a chance that he deserved through the rankings and through merit. You know, a lot of these sanctioning bodies like the WBC and President Mauricio Solomon, WBA and President Gilberto Mendoza, WBO President Gustavo Oliveira, you know, they tend to give fighters fights based off of popularity and other things and status, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to what you did in the boxing ring. So while I do think that this sucks that Bivol could potentially get stripped, you know, and the fight for the trilogy will be for the what, WBA and WBO, it's still cool for me because I think that they already fought for undisputed twice. The third fight doesn't necessarily have to be for undisputed. It's just there to close the chapter, right, and put a bow on it. And then we definitively know who was better between Dmitry Bivol and ARTUR BETERBIEV. But as far as it being for undisputed, it doesn't really have to. Or it wasn't going to be for undisputed anyway because Dave Benavidez is a WBC champion. But it doesn't even have to be for. It could be for no belts. You know what I'm saying? Right now, what it's for is for pride and who's the better man. You know what I'm saying? So out of these two phenomenal fighters, so I'm not mad at it. You know, Michael Efer, if he does. If he does get stripped, you know, according to the boxing rankings, I can't remember, he'll be fighting Connor Wallace, I believe is his name. If he does get, if Bivol does get stripped, yeah, Michael Efer, the number 1 guy in the IBF, will be fighting Connor Wallace, who's ranked number 2, and they'll be fighting for a vacant title. I have no problem with that, man. I think people deserve their opportunities. A lot of people will be mad and say, who is this guy? But you don't have to know everybody. A lot of people didn't know Dmitry Bivol until he beat Canelo. Was Dmitry Bivol undeserving of a title shot? Was he undeserving of the recognition of his skills? Was he undeserving of these things? No. So we should not confuse lack of familiarity with a lack of worth of the fighters. You know what I'm saying? So on one hand, I was like, dang, it's disappointing. And I get it because we don't know who Michael Efer is. But on the other hand, man, when you fight, you deserve to get the opportunities that you work for, you know, and that's how I see it. And like I said, it's no surprise to me because we pay attention to boxing over here, and we knew that Michael Efer was in line to get his mandatory shot anyway. So it was only a matter of time before the current IBF title holder, whether it's Bivol or Beterbiev, would have to fulfill their championship obligation and fight their mandatory. You know what I'm saying? It was going to be obligatory. So, you know, so I think he will be stripped according to the reports that I'm reading, but I don't have a problem with it. I know some people will. But I say that to say this is because I think that it's not a coincidence that Dave Benavidez, Arthur DR was announced today, and then there was also announced that IBF would be trying to enforce their mandatory. I think David Benavidez saw that. I was like, hey, man, forget this, bro. I'm not going to wait around for Beterbiev and Bivol because I'm still not getting it next. And I said this. I said, bro, Benavidez and Mauricio Solomon for the WBC were trying to enforce the fact they're trying to stop the trilogy or interrupt this trilogy and put Benavidez in there. I'm like, bro, even if they do that, if Bivol and Beterbiev don't have the trilogy, he's not next. In fact, Benavidez was after Callum Smith because the next one would have been Callum Smith. But then the one before that, the first prioritized one, the first priority would have been Michael Efer for his mandatory for the IBF. And then the next one would have been Callum Smith for the WBO being the interim champion. And then the one after that, then would have been Benavidez's turn. So, you know, there's an order of things. I know boxing is like the wild, wild west, and it doesn't seem like that, but there's some type of procedure protocol that is followed even in a limited capacity when it comes to boxing. And this is just one of them that's unfortunately going to interrupt some things that people expected. But I don't have an issue because look, the reason why it's a good thing in my personal opinion is that if Michael Efer does, if Bivol does vacate the IBF title, or he gets forced to, you know, involuntarily stripped, right? Then that means he doesn't have to worry about the IBF obligation anymore. So now he could definitely fight Benavidez or the winner of Benavidez and Yard, right? So Bivol, Beterbiev, that winner could fight the winner of Benavidez and Yard, or Callum Smith, you know what I'm saying? So it gives you more leeway and more freedom, you know? So I think it's a good thing. I think eventually be a good thing. And then you can always double back, kind of like we just saw Cinnamon do when he doubled back and reacquired Undisputed when he fought William Skull for the IBF, for William Skull's IBF portion of the 4 belts, you know what I'm saying? So I think it all works out, man. My personal opinion. That's just me though. Let's see what the chats talk about. Gold member was good. He said Benavidez gas tank. He said, what's up, my ninja? Chill out. He said Benavidez gas tank gonna take over the 6th yard, gonna have to try to stop it before the 5th. Yeah, but I don't want him to be too reckless, man. We'll see what he does, him and his trainers, you know. We'll see what they do. You know, Ty Moore said 2-1, a real trilogy after being tied. Talk to him, Ty. Talk to him, Ty. He said, yeah, I hear it. Sound like a kid with a cap gun in the distance. Okay. Yeah, nah, they busted out some big boy heat with the fireworks, man. Ricky had and Ricky Wright the same size. Right. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Walking around at 200, you know, but they don't fight there. So, yeah, I mean, it's cool to know the walk around weights, but I think that's just inconsequential. I think knowing the walk around weights is cool, but it's just talking points. It doesn't matter what you walk around at. It don't matter what you weigh when you're gallivanting through the woods on a Sunday with your date eating ice cream. It doesn't matter what you weigh when you're walking through Walmart or Costco shopping for groceries. It matters what you weigh when you hop on that scale to go fight your professional fight. You don't have to maintain the welterweight weight limit throughout the entirety of your life. No, it's just for those that 1 day or 2 days or whatever you want to say that you have, depends on what sanctioned body. In IBF, it's 2 days because you have the 10-pound rehydration limit. But yeah, you just have to wait for that 1 day and you're good and you go right back, you know. So I think that people expect some of these athletes, especially boxing, right? It's different, right? Not even basketball players. Basketball players get out of shape too when it's their off season. You know, it's just boxing is different because they don't have seasons, right? They have, I mean, I guess you kind of look at the seasons, but they have periods where they train for, you know, 8 to 12 weeks, and then they fight, you know what I'm saying? So it's like different time spaces. And if they fight once a year or twice a year, depends. It's like different time spans in which they will be in shape. But, you know, during the off season, which is when they're not fighting, they're going to be, may not be super out of shape like a normal civilian, but they'll be out. They won't be in fighting shape, and of course you're gonna weigh more. You know, it is what it is. That's every athlete, not even athletes, it's that people. You know, people do that when they're not active. You know, when you talk about bodybuilder, when you talk about even somebody who just, you know, go on a diet or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes. B says, Oster says, he said, not that BS. But he said that's a real trilogy, not that BS Amanda Serrano, Tyson Fury got going on. You lost twice, y'all owe 2. Move the freak on. Talk to him, Ty. Yeah, bro. I don't want to see these trilogies where they have the same winner the first 2 fights. Like, even if it was a draw with Tyson Fury and Usyk, like if there was a draw that they had a rematch and then they had a third one, cool, similar to Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. But over here, Tyson Fury, he's a king of trilogies, right? You fought Derek Chisora, beat him 3 times. Now you talk about Alexander Usyk, where you might lose 3 times. Amanda Serrano fighting Katie Taylor. Amanda Serrano's 0-2. You see me? Like, that just doesn't make sense and doesn't interest me. But Beterbiev and Bivol is a trilogy that literally makes sense. And it was a great fight between 2 great fighters at the top. You know, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor are literally holding up the other divisions with all the belts that they're holding up, you know, in their fights. So I think it's nonsense, but it is what it is, man. Shout out to Omari in the building. I see you, bro. He said, all I know is Canelo is about to go to jail for conspiracy. He said Chavez Jr. told they're gonna knock him off. They think it's ICE that took him. That's a cartel. Jr. ashes up. Nah, man. I mean, hey, I don't know. You know, hey, there's some wicked things that go on, man. I don't want no parts of it. You feel me? So I don't know. You could be telling the truth, but I don't know, man. Maybe it is some type of cover up, bro. I don't know what's going on. Don't forget to smack that like button, man. He said Dmitry Bivol will beat Michael Efer easily. I agree, Hassan, but it doesn't matter if somebody will beat somebody easily, you know. It's an order of things, you know. People deserve their title opportunities. It's like MJ Akhmadaliev. MJ Akhmadaliev was a mandatory for by the WBA for Nadia Inoue for the longest, for about 1.5 to 2 years. It doesn't matter if Nadia Inoue will beat it will beat him in our minds. It matters that you have to prove it. That's the whole point of boxing. You know, you have your opportunity to fight somebody. Because if you ask a lot of people when Canelo was first fighting Bivol, people would have said, "Oh yeah, Canelo's gonna smoke Bivol." That didn't happen. So upsets happen, right? Armando Resendez just beat Caleb Plant. No one thought he had a chance in hell, but he won. So, you know, it's not enough for us to think that something will transpire. It's not enough for us to think on paper that this person will win. You have to go win in that squared circle. That's why we love boxing so much. I mean, according to what was supposed to happen, Brian Norman shouldn't be a champion right now at all, because he was the massive underdog against Giovanni Santillan in his backyard. So same with Bruno Saras. He wasn't supposed to be Jaime Munguia, and Jaime Munguia come back and cheat the man after he gave him a rematch. You know what I'm saying? Punk ass Jaime Munguia. And I like Jaime Munguia too, but that's trash.
We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all.
Yeah, Jaime Munguia is trash for that, man. Throw him in the garbage, man. I like Jaime Munguia too, but that's weak.
Know your fucking place, trash.
Basura, how you gonna cheat? How you gonna cheat? Bruno Saras, he gave you opportunity to redeem yourself. But yeah, I also think that Bivol or Beterbiev will beat Michael Efer. And I don't think he has a chance against David Benavidez, Dmitry Bivol, or Artur Beterbiev, or even Callum Smith. You know, I think that the guys at the top will beat him, but he still deserves his chance. You know, he's on a long streak. He only has 1 loss, and that loss happened pretty early in his career. So, I think that he deserves his chance. It doesn't matter whether we think he'll beat him or not. people deserve their opportunities to get their shine on, you know. But he said, what was the first strip? He got stripped by the WBC, bro. Keep up, Omar. Tighten up, man. That's why you got to become a member, because you're missing out on stuff you done forgot. But yeah, Dmitry Bivol was stripped by the WBC the first time, and then now he's about to get stripped by the IBF. You know, so he'll still have the WBA and WBO. So like I said, this is the type of fight that supersedes belts. You know, the belt portion was already interesting the first two fights. Now they don't need the belts to justify or solidify this fight. You know, it's already is what it is. So shout out to Dmitry Bivol, ARTUR BETERBIEV. You know, Beterbiev, this might be Beterbiev's last fight. You know, a lot of people saying, oh yeah, we don't want to see Bivol and Beterbiev running back, but bro, Beterbiev is 40, bro. You know what I'm saying? Is he 40 or shoot 40, 41? Hell, he might be pushing 42.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So
I'm sorry.
I think he's 41, you know, or approaching that. And it's like, bro, if you keep postponing this, then, you know, everybody gets older with time, but Bivol is younger, so it's going to favor him more. So we want to see this. We should want to see this rematch and see what happens, you know. And I got Bivol winning the third fight, but shout out to Beterbiev. I want to see this fight happen. You never know how many more fights he has. You know, he doesn't have that many. He doesn't have that much ring mileage. He only has like 20 something fights, 22, 23. But he is 40, 42 or something like that. So, or 41. So, you know, I think that we should not only encourage this trilogy, but I'm looking forward to it, man. We got my bro Kendrick in the building. What's good, Kendrick? Big member in the building. But yeah, man. But yeah, I mean, I get it though too. People want to see different matchups, I guess. But you know, I don't know. I think some trilogies are justified, and this is one of the few ones that are justified. So I don't really understand the disappointment in it. Yeah, the Discord is open. You could call in and let your thoughts off. You know what I'm saying, about these upcoming fights. Don't forget to smack that like button for your boy. I appreciate it as well. And yeah, man, like I said, so we talked about so far a little recap. We talked about Frank Martin returning on the Tank Davis and Lamont Roach 2 undercard. We talked about Chavez getting deported. You know what I'm saying, get snatched up and detained by ICE. And you know, and then we also talked about why Benavidez and Yard probably came out today that they're fighting. You know, and I salute Dave Benavidez, man. You know, I like Cinnamon. I wish that Canelo and Benavidez would have fought. I had Cinnamon winning, but you know, Dave Benavidez, that's a very great fight. That's a very good fight. So I don't see why anybody doesn't like Benavidez, man. He does everything we want. You know, as a fighting fan, he fights everybody, bro. And he's fighting Anthony Yard. That's a hell of a fight, bro. He doesn't have to do it. Like I said, he could take a soft touch. He could not fight anybody and wait to get the winner, Bivol and Beterbiev, or he could try to get a soft touch. You know, fight somebody that's like ranked number 15 or something. But he chose to fight Anthony Yard after already fighting David Morrell, after already fighting Alexander Vaznik, a former champion, on his debut. So, and in his debut at the weight division. So, I love it, bro. Ty said he pulling up. Let's get it. Let's get it, man. And another fight that I'm looking forward to in the light heavyweight division is one of David Benavidez's former adversaries, David Morrell. David Morrell versus Iman Katayev. That's going to be a fantastic fight, man. And that fight is happening in when? July 19th. So in a couple weeks, 2 weeks, something like that on the Pacquiao bar. Oh, wait. That's not the Pacquiao Barrios card. That's July 12th, because that's on the Edgar Berlanga and Hamza Shiraz card, right? So Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Shiraz, Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda, Alberto Puello and Subaru Matias, and then David Morrell and Imam Katayev, man. I think that's a good fight, man. You know, Imam Katayev is undefeated. I don't think he will be after the 12th. I think David Morrell is going to beat him. This is a tough fight for David Morrell as well. You know, him going against an undefeated fighter with no tune-up after coming off his first loss. You know, we're going to see how David Morrell bounces back. But I think David Morrell is going to make easy work out of Imam Katayev. And I'm willing to bet anybody any amount of money on that one, because I just think if you watch Imam Katayev, you know, he's kind of limited as far as his mobility and agility goes. I think unless Imam Katayev catches David Morrell, I think, you know, anybody can get caught, right? It's boxing. But unless he catches him with and I'm not talking about catches him like hits him. I'm talking about catches him with like a devastating one-punch knockout. Unless that happens, like a one-punch knockout punch, like dare I say, almost a lucky punch, I think David Morrell's gonna box circles around him. I don't think he's gonna stop him, but I think he's just gonna beat the hell out of him pretty handily. But we shall see, man. That's why we watch the fights, right? That's why we watch the fights. Imam Kataev is a good fighter. I just watched him quite a bit, and I even watched some of his amateur fights, and I just don't think that he has the mobility, especially when his manager Jim Kambosos is talking about, oh, they want a small ring. They want a small ring. That shows me right there that he doesn't know how to cut off the ring, and they don't work on his weaknesses and his vulnerabilities. And I think his vulnerabilities and the chinks in his armor will be exposed by David Morrell, in my personal opinion, man. We about to pull up my guy Ty. You know what I'm saying? We got Ty in the building, aka Ty Morissette, aka Bodega Ty, aka Band for Band King, aka BTF Square Up Champion. What's good, brethren? My brother.
Yo, my guy.
What it do? What it do?
Man, looking around the sport, I'm like, hey, I see a bunch of people returning.
My boy about to hit us with some of the tea. Hold on now. I seen you making your rounds. I was in who's stream? I saw Oster and was it? I saw you and Oster and I think it was Just Do stream. I was in there for a little bit. I saw you and shout out to Just Do. I saw you and Oster in there making my rounds a little bit. Yes, sir, man. We got some good fights on the horizon. Some getting solidified. What's going on?
I seen where Gary got placed. He gonna be on that Mario and Pacquiao card.
Yep. Against Castaneda. Yep, Hugo Castaneda. Yep.
Huh? But it's 2 fights I seen on the chalkboard.
Oh Lord.
That I ain't hearing nothing about.
Oh Lord. I must have missed it.
I'm waiting for them to be announced because those 2 fights will be on Thanks card.
On Tank's card, they good?
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear, bro. Hey, shout out to Running Reb in the building. What's good, brethren? Big member in the building. Man, good to see you, Reb. I ain't seen you in a minute, man. Hopefully you're good. JCC Jr. might have JCC Jr. might not have to pay taxes on that bread he got, so it's low key a win. He might not get that bread he got. That bread he got might have got. That might be the reason why they snatched him up. You know what I'm talking about? So hey, he might have got snatched. I don't be by America necessarily either. I said that might be why the cartel cleared his capture. I said, yeah, go get him, man. He owes some of that bread. I seen that Jake Paul money. JCC acting funny with that Jake Paul money. Let me get that. They might be trying to tax him. He about to get that real tax. Well, yeah, shout out to Tommy. I got to look around there because I'm not hip to it. The only ones that I've seen was the Frank Martin one that I've seen today. That's new to me. I saw the rumor of the Jabel Charlo joint. I don't know if you're referencing that. Oh, okay, okay. So yeah, I'm hip to that a little bit.
I was talking to Oster about it, or just randomly saying shit in the chat. We will adjust the channel. I'm waiting for that call.
Hey. Let me find out Fulton on there. He said I think Shiraz is going to beat Berlanga up, man. Don't Shiraz? Or you mean Shiraz? I think Shiraz is going to beat Berlanga up. I could be wrong. I hope you're wrong, man. But yeah, I think Shiraz is a better boxer. I will agree with you there, Oster. So it's not smooth sailing. I'm going with my boy Berlanga, man. I think Berlanga gonna dodge them punches like this.
Oh wow. Hell no.
He gonna dodge some punches, Ty. And then he gonna pull out that machine gun, that Tommy gun, the 100-round drum. He better go crazy, bro. Stop playing with Berlanga, man. He about to knock out Shiraz trainer, his promoter. He knocking out everybody, man. I just hope my boy locked in, man. I'm hearing some good things from him though. He's talking about he's treating Shiraz like he's Canelo, so that means he's taking him seriously. So there is that, but yeah, I mean, there's also a chance that he could be taking it lightly too. So I don't know, but I'm going with Berlanga. Oh, so I set myself up for that. Nah, you did that. You knew I was gonna play that shit. Mark Spencer, what's good, my brother? He said, hope you're doing well, my brother. Hey, man, I hope you are too, man. Just dropping by. Much love. Hey, man, much love to you too, man. Please smack that like button if you haven't done so already, y'all. Every time you pop in, smack that like button for your boy. But yeah, so is it a fight that we talked about before? Ty, is it something you're looking forward to or what? I mean, I know you say you're looking forward to, but I mean, like, is it somebody that from that area, I guess.
Texas.
Ooh. Okay.
Only problem is they shuffling around opponents for him,
Mm.
but he's been confirmed.
Mm. Okay.
We
Okay.
already know about Fulton and Shockey. That one kind of like that one low key snitched on the date.
Right. Right. So from Texas, that means, hey, you know what I'm saying, by deduction, you know what I'm saying? The Charlo, man, or you talking about Earl Spence? You feel me? So,
54.
hey, 54.
If you
Hey,
know, you know.
hey. Now that'd be crazy, man. Can you imagine that though? If let's say this Spence, can you imagine what you know? What can you imagine if it would be Spence on a Tank, Charlo? I know that's a lot, but and Frank Martin on the man, that'd be a dope car, bro. That'd be a dope car, bro.
It's not like we ain't seen a card like that before.
Facts.
Minus Frank.
Facts. Yeah, minus Frank. Yeah, facts. So that'd be dope, man. For like old
Good old
times.
days.
Good. Yep. It feel like the good old days, man. That's a fact. That's a fact, man. Yeah. What do you think about I want to ask you what do you think about not Benavidez and what do you think about IBF stripping Bivol?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, me too.
It makes sense to let that one go. It's not
Yeah.
undisputed.
Right.
What's the point of paying this man step aside for if you were already talking about your next venture?
Exactly.
You want to go into the cruiserweight after this? Be my guest.
Right. Yep, I agree. I don't think it's a problem. I think people are going to complain about it. You know, of course they already are saying who is Michael Efer, but it's like, bro, I mean, it's still gonna, like you said, it's already not for undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Because WBC Benavidez has that belt, so why does it matter for 2 belts or 3 at this point? You know, and you know the fighter ain't got to pay the sanction fees, and like I said, who wants to see? And no disrespect to Michael Efer, but I will agree with this. It's like, no, who wants to see Michael Efer? You know, but I will say this though. Don't be surprised, chat, if the winner of Beterbiev and Bivol doesn't have like a super huge fight next. You understand? They just fought a trilogy, man. They might elect to go for a softer touch, you know. I'm not saying that for sure, but they might not fight the winner of Benavidez or Riard, or they might not fight Callum Smith. You know, I don't really see Bivol, but especially not Beterbiev, since Beterbiev already beat the hell out of Callum Smith. I don't see them not fighting Callum Smith, but you know, if they fought like, I don't know, somebody else, don't be surprised. But you know, because I would think that they would fight Callum Smith though. And there's no disrespect to Callum Smith. I like Callum Smith, but I don't know who Callum Smith beats. That holds the belt at light heavyweight right now. You know, like I don't think anybody picks him over Benavidez. I definitely don't think anybody picks him over Beterbiev since he already lost, and then I don't think anybody picks him over Bivol. I will say that I do think, stylistically speaking, I don't know if I can say that either. I was gonna say I think he has the best chance. I think he has the lowest chance of getting stopped against Bivol. You know, but I was gonna say he has a better chance against Bivol. I don't think he has a better chance to win. I want to say that, but it won't be as brutal if it's Bivol. I guess I think Benavidez and Beterbiev will be more brutal, but
I will say his best option would be Michael Eifert once he's given the belt.
I like that. Yeah, that's
but
true.
I don't think he has the financial backing to push that.
There's
other things at play.
Right.
It's people with a little bit more money backing them.
Right.
Ben Whitaker.
Facts. Yeah. Who is Ben Whitaker's with Queensberry, right?
Yeah.
Or is he a gosh dang boxer? I be I'm confused sometimes.
I think he was old Fuddy Duddy.
Ben Whitaker. So yeah, man. So we gotta I could see that too, you know. You might as well try to do that. Yeah, if you and now you can't hide him now if he get that IBF belt though. Ooh. That's hey. You get the IBF belt, fight the winner of freaking if Michael Efer just gets elevated, or if they make him fight for the vacant like they usually do with the IBF, might make him fight the number 2 guy, Connor Wallace. Then I could see Ben Whitaker beating both those guys. So man, that'd be interesting, bro. That'd be interesting. Yeah, it's Ben Shalom, yeah, boxer, yep. So yeah, man.
I'm
So
just want to look for it.
yeah, I just looked just to make sure. 'Cause I was like, I always, that's one person that I usually know who's promoted by who, but sometimes I cross that pond, mess me up a
He
little
was
bit.
Sky.
Sky Sports, okay, yeah. At the end, if I'm not mistaken, Ben Shalom is
That's their guy.
yeah, exactly, associated with Sky Sports, exactly. Out of Bivol and Beterbiev, who will have the best career after winning their fight? Ooh, I think Bivol is gonna have a better career than Beterbiev, and no disrespect to Beterbiev, but assuming he loses, even if he, I think Bivol has more time, and Bivol fought Canelo. We always gotta remember he has that, Beterbiev outside of Bivol, he doesn't really have anybody else. I mean, Callum Smith is a good win, Anthony Yard's a good win, even what's my guy's name? What's his name? Dang, what's my buddy's name? Marcus Brown. That's a decent win, but obviously Alexander Vazik was who I was thinking of. Alexander Vazik is a good win, and then so was Tavares Thundercloud. That's a good win, but none of those really trump Cinnamon. You know what I'm saying? So and then Cinnamon also had. I mean, Bivol also has Zerdo, who's a current champion right now. Beterbiev. Let me think about it. I don't think Beterbiev has anybody on his resume that went on and became a champion after him. Bivol has arguably two. One guy went on and became undisputed again in Cinnamon, and he's a face boxer. And then the other guy is a current champion, most decorated champion at cruiserweight, a weight class above, and Zerto Ramirez. So whether you think he's a good fighter or not, that's just what it is. So I would say Bivol. And he's younger too. He has more time. Shout out to Tay. Shout out to Teach. What's good? What do you think about that, Tom? Actually, same question Oster asked. He said, out of Bivol, Beterbiev, who will have the best career after winning their fight? Who will have a better career?
In terms of accolades and resume, it would be Bivol. But you know how these fans are. They go by who had more exciting fights or more memorable fights.
True.
It'll be Arthur.
Yeah.
Just based off of how they looked.
Yeah.
But that's Bivol all day. And he still has more room to do more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's what, 33, 32, 33, something like that. So yeah, so I agree with that assessment. Teach in the building. Tay, what's good? I said, I hope we get Maul versus Plant. Yeah, do you want that right now? I hope we get it too, but I would like to see Plant, hey, shout out to Plant, and the Plant family having that new addition, man. That's a blessing. But I would like to see Plant at least be on a winning streak. And I should say at least have a win before going in with Jamal. I don't think anybody picks Plant over Jamal right now, as it currently sits with him losing to Resendez. So I want the fight to happen. And if you're saying like, okay, bet if Plant could potentially lose again, then I can see what you're saying. Like, okay, we want the Plant Maul fight regardless. We don't want anything to derail it. But I'm not really a big fan of seeing guys fight past the time they should have fought if they're both significantly diminished. You know what I'm saying? And if Caleb Plant is like, I'd rather see him fight somebody else and look good, even if that means he could possibly lose and miss out on the fight period, I'm cool with that, than him going in there and it's not even looking competitive because we feel like he's shot. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care for that. Because to me, it's not even, I still want to see competition, man. So, but I get it, some people just want to see that fight regardless. But yeah, if Plant, not even saying Jamal looked the best against Corflake Lamana too, but it's just Jamal looked better than Plant, right? But some people said Resendez would have beat Plant. I mean, I saw somebody. Some people said Resendez. It's not that he beat Plant. They said Resendez would have beat Jamal Charlo that night too. I was like, I don't know about that one. But hey,
he would have never made it past that jab.
You feel me? That's what I was like. I don't know about that. That's what I said. Jamal Charlo, he didn't look that great. I'm not saying he looked great, but he definitely was good enough to beat his opponent. I think that means something.
It's a difference between moving around and just circling, and using effective footwork.
That part. Exactly.
Jamal would have just went east, west, jab
to death. Yep. East, west, jab to death. Facts. So yeah, I agree with that one, man. I agree with that. The Aces are kicking Fevers behind. I mean, sorry, I said that backwards. The Indiana Fever are kicking the Las Vegas Aces behind. Gosh, Lee. Let me see what the score is now. It was up by like 24.
They're doing better than my Yankees.
Oh, Lord. Who the Yankees playing?
What, the Blue Jays? Shit, they down too.
Yeah,
5-3.
yeah, Ace is getting smoked right now. They getting clapped. He said McCombie or Pacheco, like Diego Pacheco or Trevor McCombie. I got Diego Pacheco. That's gonna be a good fight though. I think it's gonna be a good fight. What card is that? That's on the. What card is that again?
I can't remember.
Is it on the Bam Rodriguez card? I think so, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, hey Tay, what card is that on? Is that on the Bam Rodriguez versus Fumile the Cafu unification fight? Card? I think so. If I'm not mistaken, I think so. I think it's on the Bam versus Fumile the Cafu, the Bam the American champion, WBC champion, 115 versus Fumile the Cafu, the South African WBO champion unification. I think it's on that card. Yeah, I think it's a co-main. If I'm not mistaken.
I ain't gonna hold you, Doc.
Yep.
Trying to figure out what card they was fighting on. The only date that came to mind was August 16th. And I started rubbing my hands like Birdie.
That's a fact. That's a date we need to know. Hey, bro. Hey, that's gonna be a good. Hey, I'm excited for that, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Next weekend's gonna be fire too. Good Lord willing, man. Because that's gonna be a long weekend. Because Friday's the all women's card, Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor trilogy with all those wonderful combatants on there. Alicia Bumgarner versus Miranda. Excuse me. Shredder Metcalf versus Shaneka Johnson. Who else? Savannah Marshall versus. Who's she fighting? Shadeja Green.
That's Savannah.
Yeah, Savannah Marshall versus Shadeja Green, and then Chantel Cameron. I don't remember who she's fighting. I'm forgetting somebody else on there too. Another fight that I'm missing. But yeah, that's gonna be a good card.
I don't remember who Alicia's opponent was.
Miranda. Jennifer Miranda or Jessica Miranda. Jay Miranda.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then that's on Friday, right? And then the Saturday is Berlanga and freaking Shiraz and Shakur's. Oh man, he's gonna be up. It's on the BAM card. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's on the BAM card. So yeah, man, I think that next week's gonna be great. And then the following week is the Bam Rodriguez card. And the Pacquiao card. Barrios Pacquiao card, excuse me. And the Usyk Dubois card. All on the same day. Man, I'm gonna be tired. That July 19th, I'm gonna be tired. Fights in England and then two in America. I just hope that the Pacheco, the Bam and the one don't clash though. Which it probably will.
I'm calling it now.
The Bam and Pacquiao
the Barrios Pacquiao card. That's the Mick card.
Ooh wee.
You on the lookout for the Mick.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. If Pacquiao beats Barrios, cool. If they rob Barrios, bro, nah, bro. That'd be crazy. But if Pacquiao beats him straight up, I ain't mad at that. Shout out to Pacquiao, man. He's a legend. But if he beats him by way of robbery or by way of Mick, nah, bro. Nah.
There was too many people that got ties over there that was, rubbing their hands like Birdman for no reason. Like
right.
Adrian Park. We know he represents B. Norman Jr.
Yep.
But his firm also represents well over 15 fighters that's on the PBC.
Come on now.
So he will have that knowledge of what's going on.
Right. Yeah, you see, Norman,
he's saying like, we're gonna wait on something over there.
Come on now.
That check hit that email, and he was like, hold up. Now we gotta take
this. Right. And that's just smart to see how it plays out, man. Imagine Brian Norman versus Pacquiao. Or if you hear Rolly, if you watch a couple of interviews of him, he been talking about, hey, I want Pacquiao. Can't none of these guys get Pacquiao unless Pacquiao beat Barrios, so they might be cooking up something. I hope not, but that's why Barrios got to stop him, bro. Barrios got to stop him. He got to stop the 46-year-old old legend. It's a 46-year-old legend. He got to stop.
I need him to.
Need to, bro. Need it. Needs to, bro.
So he can silence all the goofy stuff.
Come on now. But who else is on that card, Ty? Sebastian Fedora. What's the name? Tim Tszyu, part 2.
Oh yeah.
Somebody else.
Battle of the Mick.
Figueroa fighting somebody. Who Figueroa fighting? Joet Gonzalez, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Somebody else too. I think I'm missing somebody. Pacquiao, Barrios. Oh yeah, what's the name? Isa Pipo Cruz and Angel Fierro. That's on that card too, right? Yeah, that's gonna be a pretty interesting card, man. Action packed. Like I said, I hope Barrios gets the dub, man.
If
But
I'm not wrong, I think they're coming down to 35. It's either they're going to be at 35 or 38 or whatever they fucking agreed to.
oh, okay. That's interesting. He said, "Yeah, we talked about Russell too. I don't remember who he's fighting. No, yeah, I do. Hugo Castaneda. Yeah. Gary Russell Jr. is making his return. What, like a 3-year hiatus? So hopefully he does well. I don't know. Shout out to the Russell family. Prime Pacquiao would have stopped Boots. Don't do that. Would have stopped Boots. What the hell? What the hell does that got to do with? Don't do. Who said anything about Pacquiao? Who said Pacquiao? Who said anything about Pacquiao Boots? What you talking about? Don't do that. Don't do what?
Nah. I see what it was. They trying to get me to pull out irony. It's cool.
That gotta be, bro, because that was random as hell. No one even. First of all, I said I hope that Pacquiao doesn't get. I hope Barrios doesn't get cheated. What the heck are you talking about?
I almost bit the cheese too.
Yeah, you tried to bait somebody.
Feel out, you wild.
But I do think Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't put anybody over Pacquiao, but Pacquiao is. Yeah, nah, you tripping. Why? Who the heck even think about that? Prime Pacquiao?
Any version of Boots would have sent any version of Pacquiao back to 126. What we talk about? That boy gonna be eating split pea soup. Feel out. You need to relax.
Hey, Pilar said, "Yeah, I was just trying to bait a reaction. I already know, Pilar." Yeah, me and Ty disagree on that one. I do. But first of all, I don't think that fight would have ever been realistic, because even if they were in their prime, like I said, Boots is a pretty big guy. I don't know if he was ever gonna be at where a scenario where he's coming up to 147 to fight Boots. I don't see that. You know, but if they were at 147, man, I don't know, Ty. You got Boots? Prime?
I got Boots for sure, because he not agreeing to no weight stipulations. He's not gonna be able to mix.
That's a good point.
Bozy and Boots.
That's a good point. Ain't no desperation over here. He said, "Hey, Tay said the same thing you said." He said every version of Pac getting knocked out by Boots. Yeah, I gotta put some respect on Pacquiao, man. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's a good fight.
Styles make fights.
Styles make fights.
All that herky jerky. Doo 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 doo.
You got bing 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 bing.
I guarantee you, Boots hit that boy one time, you gonna hear Belonga song. Bow, bow.
Question: Who would you have had if Spence and Pacquiao fight would ever went down? I'm talking about the time that it was going to go down.
Oh, messed up eye or not? Spence was gonna have that boy eating split pea.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. See, and that's why I kind of agree with you, because I ain't gonna lie, I had Spence beating Pacquiao, but just because of the timing, you know, and then but even then, still, I just, like you said, Styles make fights, and I don't know, I just think, yeah, I agree with you on that. Juice up Pacquiao was different is crazy, right? I ain't putting my boy on the juice, man, you know, but we definitely hear the allegations. But shout out to Pacquiao though, man. But yeah, he definitely got a. Man, that's so weird though, bro. So is it still, because I've been looking at the boxer rankings, and I still don't see him back in the rankings, bro. What do you think that is, dog? You think it's really the not taking the test? That's the only thing I could think of.
I'm only giving my theory. It don't look right, and
it does not, bro.
It only looks like somebody's trying to avoid any real, you know, liability of having to take a test. I can almost guarantee you the week of the fight, he'll be in the rankings to justify him defending that belt.
Exactly. So like, I don't understand, because he was just number 5, and then when he gets the fight is solidified, has a date, then he's taken out the rankings. That's weird, bro.
For green beans?
Come on now.
I mean, Mean Machine?
Come on now.
Igor Velasquez, I think.
Yes, for Cavalli. Yeah, you're right. No, yeah, Cavalli is number 5. You're absolutely right. Yep. That's crazy. That's weird, man. Errol was stopping him with a body shot, saying another one. And the part about that is that it's not like Velasquez won his last fight. You know what I'm saying? He lost. So I don't know. Whatever.
You know, it's a random thought.
What's that?
Because we touched on trilogies earlier. Iron. I don't know where Irony is, but mentioning his name made me mad. I thought about it.
Oh,
Them four
say
fights
Lomachenko. He'll
weren't
pop
even
up.
the same weight. 126, 130. I think the third one was at like 144, and then the last one was at full welterweight. I think,
Mm.
and they weren't even like 2 years apart. Then they fought 4 times. I think the last one was like 2012. First time was what, 2003, 2004.
I think so.
That was a bad comparison. Like they were different weight classes.
Talk to him.
Some of them were mandated, and other ones was because they had belts.
Right.
What are we doing?
Right. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. What fight are you looking forward to like this summer the most? Not just the summer, just this month, I guess. So like the 19th, the 12th, this weekend coming up. This weekend, nothing. It's just Harlem Eubank and Jack Catterall, right? That's not really nothing. But what fight do you look? Because this month is pretty hot, man. Starting next week. Good Lord willing.
For me,
Yeah.
it's a women's fight.
Mm.
I already know O'Shea gonna do it on the 25th. She gonna knock old girl the fuck out.
Oh, she fighting on the
But
25th?
yeah,
Oh, let's go.
fighting in Atlanta.
In
But she ain't
Atlanta?
came to. Yeah,
Oh, hold on now. I might try to. Hey,
OTX card 25th.
I know. All right, I bet. Try to see if I'm free.
The fight I'm really looking at because film and seeing one of the fighters move around through camp. The Sadeja Green and Savannah Marshall card
That's what I'm
fight
looking
for
forward
me.
to. That's the fight. I think that's gonna still fight of the night on the July 11th card. I'm looking forward to that fight too. But for me, I'm probably looking forward to the most. I'm really excited for Morel and Imam Katayev, but I think I want to see just with all the hype and I got and anticipation. I want to see Zepeda and I want to see Shakur and Zepeda, bro. I ain't gonna lie. But Tias and Pueblo is gonna be a good one too. But yeah, I think if I could only watch one fight, you know what I'm saying. I like Bam and Cafu as well, but I got Bam winning. So if I could pick one fight, it would be Shakur and Zepeda. I like that. I actually think Savannah Marshall and Shadeja Green's gonna still fight of the night. I'm leaning towards Savannah.
Yeah,
But
Shakur and Zepeda is probably top 3 for me because I feel like that's going to be a Floyd Gotti performance, and
hey,
everybody's going to say Zepeda was ass.
yep. Rest in peace, Arturo Gotti. But yeah, he definitely kicked in. I was so happy he did too, because Arturo Gotti was trying to sneak, you know what I'm saying? Sneaking some gosh damn discriminatory comments in there too. Think he's slick.
And with the Marshall Green fight, I feel like I'm being a backstabber with this, but with my selection. But seeing her from what I've seen her in camp versus the person she's going to fight, I feel like Savannah Marshall beating her will cement her as top 3 of her generation.
Ooh, talk to him. That's a hell of a compliment for old Savannah. Shout out to Savannah. I like Savannah though. Thomas Hill in the building. What's good, brothers? Salutations to you, man. I got Thomas Hill in this building, in this piece. Hey, this man Praddick's trying to get a. I'm gonna let him bait you, bro. This man's trying to get a reaction. Gotta be, because if not, then I might need to toss you out of here, bro. I had to give you the boot, Praddick. I know you trying to get a reaction. You might be gosh dang pill out second account. This man said, I'm just joking. Nah, you chill. I'm just joking, Praddick. You cool.
Nah.
He said,
we need more talk like that.
Facts. I'm telling you. He said next year, Jake Paul KOs Joshua. Mark my words, Dr. Boxer. Joshua who? Joshua Whitney? Joshua Brandon? Hey, what Joshua we talking about, bro? It got to be a made up Joshua. Mark Joshua? Who is this Joshua you talking about? I know you ain't talking about Anthony. not with the initials AJ from Nigeria and England, by way of England. Or England by way of Nigeria, I should say. The former Olympian, 2012 Olympian, London Olympics. Bro, stop it, bro. Ain't no way.
I got money on everybody named Anthony versus.
I'm telling you, bro.
Any yard.
Yeah. Yeah, Anthony Yard. Yeah, exactly. I got Anthony Yard too. Hey, Thomas said Anthony. Yeah, not Anthony. In fact, Anthony, not Anthony. Ain't no way. Jake Paul's not beating any legitimate boxer of his weight, let alone a heavyweight. Maybe he might be the Anthony Joshua, the cruiserweight version of Anthony Joshua, which I still don't think
I
he
ain't gonna
beats.
hold
But
you.
come on, bro.
I got a heavyweight for him
Oh,
just because I want to see the outcome.
don't say Chisora, bro.
Nah. Give me Wilder.
Bro, stop it, bro. I don't even want to see that, bro. Come on, you come
Nah,
on, bro.
nah.
Don't do
And
Wilder like
we
that,
having a
bro.
fight. No. You're not seeing the play.
Nah, I'm
And we
definitely
having a
not.
fight party.
Bro, I'd probably cry. I'm not going. I'm too scared,
No.
bro. I'm staying in the house,
Somebody
bro.
gonna be crying. Somebody gonna be crying.
I hope it's Jake
And they're
Paul,
gonna be in
bro.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Facts. I hope you're right, bro. But Deontay Wilder just scared me, man. I don't know, man. You know, I know that sounds disrespectful as hell, but I don't even want to find out if he could.
Deontay Wilder is Mr. Drop Us a Bump.
I hope so, bro. I hope you're right. That's a fact. That's true too. Yeah. What am I talking about? But I don't know, man. I'm just nervous, bro. Legacy, what's good, brethren? He said, it's all respect, bro. Yeah, that's all. Nah, you have your opinion, bro. We love it, bro. We just talking, man. You should pull up to the Discord, man. Get your vocalize your thoughts, verbalize your thoughts. He said it's all respect, bro. Yeah, no disrespect. I'm not a big AJ guy, but I am a big on respect for the sport and merit. I say there's no way. There's no way. If Anthony Joshua loses to Jake Paul, I'll end my show. Like I'll stop doing a boxing podcast. Ain't no way, bro. Now if something's crazy, I don't know what that would be, but that'd be different.
I need that fight next year.
I
can see it now.
I hope so.
I'm going to Wembley. I might have to catch a ride with Tunde because you know how he bring out the Volkswagen. When Larissa went out there, he had 5 black Rolls Royces back to back to bring the Queen through.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, I be hearing good stuff about Tunde holding it down for a lot of American fighters, or fighters period, but American. Show him respect and stuff. Tunde Ajayi, he said he's improving so fast. You think so? I think I would say this. I see some, developments. Improving so fast. You make it sound like he like Abdullah Mason or something, or I don't know. Yeah, he's doing something. I mean, he went from a 60-year-old to a guy fresh out of rehab. I guess that's improving, I guess. But I don't see he's doing something. I shout out to him. I'm not like I said, shout out to Jake Paul, man. I think his presence is good for the sport, contrary to what a lot of people believe, in my opinion. I think his presence is good for the sport, but also too, he still has to earn stuff. I don't think it's right that he was bumped. What's that guy's name? I just saw an interview with him on TMZ. He was mad about it. I want to see if I can get in touch with him. I just couldn't find his information. I can't remember his name.
The dude that got dropped off the top 15 for him?
Yep. You saw it. Yep. I can't remember. Craig Parker. Craig Parker's his name. Yeah, I'll try to reach out to him, but I ain't see his name I looked him up on Twitter. I ain't see his name. Did I check Instagram? I don't remember if I checked Instagram.
Wait till the WBC updates their list.
Oh, you already know. Mauricio Sullivan already told us. Oh, he going in there. So
he gonna debut in the top 10.
Nuts.
The cash was already the check was already in hand.
That's the sad part. You're not even lying. That's the sad part. Sad part, man.
Mauricio gonna come out here and say, I talked to the board. Me and my board had a meeting, and we have agreed that we will put Jake Paul of Cleveland, Ohio, by way of Puerto Rico, in our top 10. And he will be mandated next year.
But y'all be cracking me up when y'all be doing the gosh dang accent imitations, bro. And I found him on Instagram. I'm about to hit him with a message right now. See if we can reach out to him, man. Y'all crazy as hell, man. He said, I agree there. He should not have been ranked off that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but shout out to Jake Paul. I don't know. Hey, if you get in this life, get what you get, bro. get what you get, man. I'm not mad at it, man. But at the same time, what about the guy who's ranked number 15, like Craig Parker, or was number 14, and these other guys, I think that it just questions the integrity of the sport, and I think that should be preserved, the sanctity and the purity and the integrity of the sport. That's why when guys cheat and stuff like that, man, I wish, I saw this, and salute to some boxers that step out and speak out actively. But I saw, what's the guy's name? Tom Aspinall, I believe his name. In the UFC, he came out talking about MMA. He was like, man, anybody that cheats, bro, he said that they should be banned from the sport. They should be fined. He said, man, it's like a brotherhood. At the same time, we're trying to beat each other and whoop each other, but at the same time, you're violating the trust. We still got to go back to home to our families. You're literally, it's like you're bringing a weapon into the fight. I just love his breakdown. It sounds like everything that I said, and and that's not the only reason why I liked it, because it's not like what I said, but I just love it, man. I think that fighters, and I'm not just saying for Devin Haney. I'm not even a big Devin Haney guy, but it's for the sport and respect to Devin Haney. It's like the man went through that, bro. You like, instead of people talking like, oh yeah, we saw what Ryan Garcia did to you. Like, I like Rolly Romero too, but every time he talks about the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney situation, if you don't bring up PEDs, then I think that you're just irresponsible, and it's like, I don't know. To me, you're kind of emotional too. It's like some things are beyond, I don't know, beyond, I guess, personal conflicts or whatever, or trash talk. Bro, somebody cheated, bro. When someone cheats, and everybody should stand up, in my opinion, especially if you're involved, because you could have been the person you cheated. It just happened to be Devin Haney. He could have cheated Broly too. He could have cheated Gervonta too, and he probably did cheat Gervonta. He just ended up losing. He could have cheated Oscar Duarte. Oscar Duarte accused him of cheating. He could have been anybody. I'm saying that's just whack.
I love that message by Tom Aspinall.
Oh, you saw it? Yeah, I loved it, bro.
Yeah, but I didn't like the messenger.
Who was the messenger? Oh, Tom Aspinall. What do you do?
I honestly felt like he was saying something that was good for PR, but his reasoning behind it was low key kind of nasty.
Oh, you think he was throwing shots at John Jones?
Yeah, for sure.
I see, because I don't really watch MMA, but when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, because I know he's been in a lot of talks about John. I see what you're saying.
He started talking about the PEDs.
Right.
The other day it was, I don't like domestic violence.
Okay. So
he was going on a tirade.
Okay.
He's going on campaign right now.
I see what you're saying. Okay. So he low key trying to act like he's doing it for righteousness, but he's over here just trying to be petty and diminish the recent retired phenom's name. I see what you're saying. I didn't think about it like that. I thought
I knew who he was talking about directly when you started talking about abuse against pregnant women. He's not talking about Tank with that one.
See, I didn't see the whole thing. I ain't gonna lie. I just saw a clip, and they didn't get to that part. He said John Jones did all those things though. Yeah. See, I don't watch MMA like that. That didn't cross my mind. So shout out to Ty. Yeah. If he's dirty, then yeah, I don't pull no punches, man. When you dirty, you dirty. No matter if you John Jones, Ryan Garcia, Conor Ben. Yup.
He wasn't even discreet with it. He said, "I ain't never shoot at my neighbor."
He was talking about Dick Cheney, man. Dick Cheney shot his
Bro, he talking about John Jones with 12 gauge. He ain't slick.
Yo, he said, nah, bro, you gonna retire without fighting me? Bet. We gonna throw all this dirt on your name. We gonna remind him. Yeah, it's all right, yeah. Yep, man. Jarrell Baby Miller, man, another cheater, but he back in the news talking about. Did you see what Derek Chisora said about him? Talking about, I wouldn't fight you either. You cheat, bro. That just had me crying, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to Derek Chisora.
You see what blood did to him.
Oh yeah, where you hemmed him up?
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah, he might not be able to go back to being Florida security after that.
I'm telling you. Hey, Legacy Remains says, Doc, do you truly believe in the hype behind Debo Haney versus the entire universe and beyond? Nah, I don't think he's gonna fight everybody on the hit list, and I don't think that. This is the thing, though. I'm gonna tell you that. I know I'm gonna sound like a Devin Haney supporter. Shout out to my guy Ty. It's not even that. I'm just a supporter and apologist for common sense, bro. Him coming, nobody believe. I can't speak for people. Let me speak for myself. I don't believe that he's gonna fight anybody on the hit list. But I'm a Tank guy. I'm spam the GTD chain. I didn't believe that shit. You know that you do you know where this alert is from? Hold on, let me play it.
Yeah.
That right there. Do you know where that's from?
Yeah.
Where he says, "Yup." That's from when he asked the guy, "Who do you want me to fight?" He said, "Shakur Stevenson." He said, "Yup." He said, "Oh, he said, "Are you gonna fight Shakur Stevenson?" He said, "Yup." He said, "Devin Haney." Yup. He said, "Purple Cruz." Yup. He said, "Ryan Garcia" again. He thought about it. Said, "Yup." And I think he eventually said Floyd Mayweather. He said, "Yup." Before the interviewer realized that the interviewee Tank was just pulling the string. So what I'm saying is part of that is promotion too. So yeah, Bill Haney came out with a hit list, but you got to be a damn fool if you think he's really gonna fight all those people, bro. Like it's not even realistic to fight all those damn people. He had like 10 people on the list, bro.
Yeah.
Like so.
Scheduling, weight classes.
Right, yeah. Come on, bro. And I'm not saying that to defend him, but do I think he could? Do I think he would? I mean, sometimes I will be honest. Sometimes I think Bill Haney be capping, and I think that sometimes Devin Haney acts like a guy that would fight the people that he knows aren't really going to happen or feasible at that moment. But I got to give him, like I said, I really respect the man for coming back and fighting Jose Carlos Ramirez. People don't give him no credit because they try to what's the word I'm looking for? They tried to act like that fight was so bad, and it made the performance overwhelm the fact that he was fighting Jose Carlos Ramirez off of a loss, off of a not a loss, off of that situation where it was no contest. He was brutalized and cheated, right? That was a hell of a fighter, you know what I'm saying? Hell of an opposition. And then he's talking about fighting Brian Norman, a champion his debut, or legit when he makes his full-fledged jump to 147. I can't say anything. You know what I'm saying? In addition to him being the youngest undisputed male champion in the 4-belt era already, I can't really say much about Devin Haney, bro, as far as negatively speaking. Go ahead, Ty. Think you was going to say something?
Yeah. I was going to add to it it's kind of funny how people just only quote certain parts of things out of context. Never did Bill sit there and allude to actually delivering that whole list. Told y'all people he was going to get the ones that they can get.
Right.
Or do what you will with that list.
Right. And if I may add as well, I have to give Trill Bill this credit as well. They tried to get Teofimo. We know that Devin Haney and Teofimo falling out wasn't because of Devin. I mean, Devin told us that. If you don't want to believe Devin, cool. You know what I'm saying? It's like believing one person's word versus the other. You want to believe Teo, don't want to believe Devin, cool. But then Turkey told us that. Keyshawn Davis told us that. You know what I'm saying? So we can see that if you have eyes. Even Bob Arum told us that. He threw Teo under the bus, said he don't want to fight nobody. So, you know, so one of those people on that list, we know that Devin Haney was actively trying to pursue, and it seemed like all the opportunity was there. And Teofimo once again turned down another fight with a guy he called out: Devin Haney, Brian Norman, Gervonta Tank Davis, Terrence Crawford, Jerron Boots Ennis. I mean, I could keep going. So
Devin fighting Norman just made everybody forget all about Richardson, Hitchens, and Keith Conley pulling what they pulled. I mean, Hitchens seen Bill and was like, Bill, just the guy I didn't want to see.
I'm telling you.
What are you doing here?
I'm telling you, man. Yep. You're right about that, man. And then
I think Bill doxed Keith Conley, by the way. I don't know if he intentionally did it, but trying to prove that he did contact him, he gave away the man number.
Oh, Lord. Bill out here slipping, man.
So you don't gonna have old heads on the internet.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, I would like I said, I would like to see like I said, I got Brian Norman beating Devin, but I don't have it like, oh yeah, he's gonna get washed because he took a left hook from Ryan Garcia, like, you know, a souped up PED. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know, man. I think it's a good fight. I was thinking that Devin Haney would fight somebody like, you know, it's funny that Jack Catterall's moving up to 147. I would have liked that fight. I think that's a good fight, you know. But you know, I'm not sure Jack Catterall's gonna get past Harlem Eubank. I'm not sure about that. That's a good fight too, coming up this weekend. Like, it's not a big fight, but you know, I think that's a pretty.
I ain't gonna hold you, Doc.
Yo.
Had they announced Devin Haney versus Jack the Cat Catterall,
El Gato,
niggas would have threw tomatoes.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that, you know, because yeah, we don't give You know how that go, man. We don't give certain fighters credit, man. You know, that's not I think that's a good fight for anybody, but not for a known person. Like I don't think that's, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna give nobody known credit for beating Jack Catterall, but I think that's a good fight, man.
Even if I was getting paid by them, I still would have said, "Yo, this some shit."
Yeah, yeah. I have Devin Haney winning that fight, but yeah, I liked it, man. Especially, man, like I said, I thought Jack Catterall. I was disappointed in his performance against Barbosa. He said, "Are any good boxing books that I've read?" I got an Ali book somewhere around here. I don't really read too many boxing books, to be honest. I got a Ali book, and I have a Jeet Kune Do book, a Bruce Lee book. But as far as just like, nah, I don't really read any. I got my PhD in engineering, man. I read too much textbooks or research papers, so I don't really or read like, I read articles and stuff like that, but I don't really read like books like that. Not like not like sports books. You feel me? Like I'm reading 48 Laws of Power right now. It's right there on right there on my desk. 48 Laws of Power. That's the book I'm reading right now. I read the Bible, stuff like that. So when I read like stuff for, that's how I should say. I don't really read stuff for what I consider recreation. I mean, I guess it's all recreational, but I feel like I read with a purpose. If that makes sense. I'm not gonna read like a Harry Potter book or like a autobiography. No, I'm not against it. I'm just saying this is me. You know, yo, what's good, William? Old school in the building. But yeah, man. Yes, sir, bruh. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, bro. I got some food. I'm glad Irony's not here because I got some pizza. I think it's on its way, man. Yeah, I'm gonna try to reach out to this Craig Parker dude though. See what's going on. Hey, Chad, I be trying to reach out to guys too. You know, it's just I need to work on my presence on Twitter. I need to tweet more and stuff like that. I'm just not really into. I don't know. I guess I gotta step out my comfort zone, but I'm not really into like Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. But I need to be. So I think because my presence isn't big on there, which is not big on YouTube yet either, to be fair. But we getting there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I've been pretty unsuccessful reaching out to people. I'm trying to get some interviews, man. I think that'd be dope to chop it up with some boxers. Stuff like
You
that.
gotta have a beef online.
I'm telling you,
The
bro.
numbers are probably up.
I'm telling you, bro. Go ahead and start beefing. What's that one dude named the boxer dude that's supposed to fight Sean Porter? What happened to that anyway? They're not fighting no more? Which I knew they were never gonna fight anyway, but what's the dude name? The guy on Twitter. It was beefing with Sean Porter. I mean, I don't know if it was a beef, but they're about to fight. You know what I'm talking about?
I feel like he was never going to fight Sean Porter once it got real.
Yeah, I didn't think he was.
Once like the term sheets came out, nah, he wasn't going to do that.
Yeah, I didn't think he was gonna fight him anyway. But yeah, I need to be for somebody like that who's active. Ray Jackson, something like that. People funny, man. People funny, bro.
Nah, Ray Jackson just a troll.
Yeah, that's how I be seeing a lot of people just be trolling, but. I as long as they be having me laughing, man. I be laughing, so I be laughing, bro. He said Thomas Hill, my Mickey Ficky, my Mickey Fricky brother. Yes, sir. Damn, I caught you late. Peace out, dog. Hopefully, yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. Now you good, bro? I was actually late as well, so you know I used to get on at 7, but I got on at 8. I was trying to look at some topics and stuff like that. One too much going on since the morning show, so why you gotta come after Harry Potter? Nah, bro. No disrespect to Harry Potter, bro. I'm just saying I could have said any fictional story. I could have said freaking what's that joke with the bird? Hunger Games. I could have said something about Hunger Games. I could say anything, bro. Don't disrespect to Harry Potter, man. Shout out to Hogwarts. You know what I'm talking about? That's just not my this is not my stuff, man. You know, Lord of the Rings, I love the movies. I'm not reading the book. I don't really
so you're not repping Slytherin over here?
Hell no. Well, yeah, what was the I saw that game. There was like 3 houses, right? The 3 houses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My
that
niece,
game dope.
Yeah, I heard good things. Yeah, my niece was playing it. Yeah, I mostly yeah, I don't really read like I said. I read like I don't know. Like the last book I read was that one Gary Vaynerchuk. Is his name Gary Vaynerchuk? Dang, what's it called? That was the last book I read. I gotta look it up. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a pretty big, pretty popular book. Gary Vaynerchuk. He's like a guy that teaches people how to blow up on social media. Vaynerchuk, excuse me, Gary Vaynerchuk. What's his book called? That was the last book I read. That was like last year.
I just thought of something.
Crushing it.
I might jump on Twitter and start that beef for you. You might not like what I'm gonna say though.
Hey, okay, they came with me. Let's do it. Yeah, man, that's too funny, bro.
All you gotta do is ask somebody's favorite fighter to read a chapter out of a Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, you wildin', bro. Don't so. Nah, you wildin', bro. You wildin', bro. That's what 50 Cent said to gosh dang Floyd, but that's wrong, bro. You know,
Niggas was ready to fight.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, dog. I'm gonna try to be on in the morning, though, man. And I'm trying to think what we could talk about in the morning if no news pop up. I don't know. I try to think of something. Try to think of something.
So is in the way really looking past MJ?
That's a good question. I like that for the morning show.
You ducked him.
I'm telling
now
you.
you're over here talking to the Turk about
Picasso, bro. And Picasso has a fight coming up too. Who's he fighting? I just saw that. He's fighting on some card. Did they say he's gonna be on the Beterbiev Bivol undercard? He's somewhere. I don't remember. I just saw it.
I don't know.
I literally just saw it like yesterday. He's I can't remember what fight. Let me see. I'm about to look it up now before I tell you. My God. Yeah, he's fighting Kiyonosuke Kameda on the all the gosh dang Kamedas. Kiyonosuke Kameda. He's fighting on July 19th. Yeah, he's fighting on the gosh dang what a call card, Pacquiao card. I was surprised to see him on there. Yep. Kameda, Kiyonosuke Kameda. Yep. But my brother, man, I'm gonna go ahead and call him, man. Appreciate you pulling up and chopping it up with me, man. Cause I ain't have much. So
I'll give my closing statement real quick.
Yes, sir. Do your ting. Yes, sir.
I owe David Benavidez an apology. And here's why. After reading on the Ring Magazine website, they actually have their criteria listed on how they judge and critique who placement for their pound for pound list.
Yep, I saw you talking about that in Just Do Stream.
I feel as though David should be moved up to 9, and Taraji, I'm cool with you and all, but you haven't done enough.
Shout out to Kenshiro
That's
Taraji.
why that spot belongs to Shakur, Boots, or even Teofimo Lopez.
Yep. People on about fuck Tio, but yeah.
Based on their criteria.
Yeah. And shout out to I had Boots on there. Ever since people don't like it, but bro, hey, you be undefeated champion, you unified and a Ring Magazine champion, bro. If any other fighter had that, bro, he would be on pound for pound list. I don't care what division. I don't care if you know them or not. I don't care. Come on, bro. That's the thing. Well, that's why you think Ja Pattaya is not on there, you know, and why you think Zerto's not on there, because Zerto has one, right? He's unified. He like Boots. He has a WBA and the WBO, but he doesn't have the ring. Ja Pattaya has the ring and he has an IBF, but he's not unified. You know what I'm saying? So Boots had both. He was unified, WBA and IBF, and he had the Ring Magazine, bro. Like, come on, man. If that's not pound for pound, I don't know what is. I'm not saying you got to be like number 1, number 2, because that's when I think the personnel, individual competition, who you're fighting matters. But, you know, you have those accolades, man. That means you dominate your division. So it's just like Junta Nakatani. You know, a lot of people have him there, but, you know, for the same reason, he beat Ryosuke Nishida. Yeah, you can put him on there. He beat Ryosuke Nishida, so now he has WBC and the IBF belt at 118. Yeah, he could be on there, bro. But, you know, that's just my personal opinion. Yeah, Praddock said, Ty, we hitting the club tonight. I'm asleep. But yeah, man. Speaking of that, I want to, bro. I gotta apologize too. I owe y'all an apology for putting Heidi Herrera on that list. I'm gonna tell you why, bro. I read the dumbest article today, bro. The dumbest. They had it was ranking the 135 pounders. They had Heidi Herrera above Shakur, bro. They had William Zepeda above Tank and Shakur, bro. They had, bro, I'm telling you, like, some of these articles, man, I don't think the publisher is realizing that every time this certain authors post a publication, they are diminishing the integrity of this gosh dang of that platform, bro. I don't even want to show it because I don't want to bring any, any free advertisement to it. But they had number 1 Andy Cruz, number 2 Floyd Schofield, number 3. I don't remember who they had number 3. It wasn't a champion though. I think it was Abdullah Mason. Number 4, yeah, I think it was Abdullah Mason. Number 4, who was number 4? William Zepeda. Number 5, Gervonta. Number 6, who was number 6? I don't remember. But anyway, number 6, I think Javier Herrera. Number 7, I can't remember. Number 8 was De Los Santos. Number 9 was Shakur. And number 10, who was number 10? Sorry, the one that I said I didn't know who was, number 7, Murataya. And then like I said, number 9 was Shakur. I can't remember who number 10 was. Oh, Burinchek, Denise Burinchek. I said, yo, this person got to be kidding me, bro. Now, if you think I'm not a fan, because I think y'all know, I feel like somebody out there is not believing me. Like I just made that up, so I'm gonna show you. I'm not gonna show who the author was because I'm not giving him no free play.
I like it was Champy.
Exactly, bro. It's not Champy, but it's Champy. If you know what I'm saying, somebody with the same mentality as Champy. It might not be Champy, but it's Champy. Yes, exactly. And no disrespect to those guys, those guys are good, but come on, bro, you can't put. Well, what's the point of being champion, bro? Nothing. Like, come on, bro. This person is notorious for. If you go read the comments, everybody. I was gonna say something, but I realized that everybody already already said what I was going to say. They read the like, it's the same thing I was gonna say. So let me show you. This is what the Ring has. The Ring magazine has Gervonta 1, Shakur 2, Zepeda 3, Murataya 4. Cruz 5, which is a good list, right? 6 Floyd Schofield. Number 7 having Frank Martin on there. I don't really like that because he's going to 140, but he hasn't had a fight at 140 yet, so cool. Denise Burinchek 8, Sam Noakes 9, Abdullah Mason 10. Cool. That's cool. I'm not saying that I agree with it 100%, but that's cool. It makes sense. This guy's list, he had the audacity to say my improved. He audacious, bro. This man is audacious enough to say my improved. Number 1, Andy Cruz. Number 2, Floyd Schofield. Number 3, Abdullah Mason. Dang, I have a good memory, chat. I have a pretty good memory. I almost got this verbatim. Anyway, number 1, Andy Cruz, Floyd Schofield, number 2. Abdullah Mason, 3. Zepeda, number 4. None of these guys are champions. Let me be very clear. The first champion we see on there comes in at number 5, Gervonta Davis. Number 6 is Javier Herrera. Y'all got on my head top for putting Javier Herrera number 10 earlier this week. He has him number 6. Above Raymond Murataya, who's a champion, number 7. Edwin De Los Santos, when's the last time he fought? Oh, the last time he fought was 2 years ago against this guy right here, Shakur Stevenson, who he's above. And then number 10 is Denise Burinchek. Bro, this has to be the worst list I've ever seen in my life. To each his own, though.
Top 5 worst ones for me.
What'd you say?
I said top 5 worst ones for me. and they 5, 4, 3, 4, 2.
Shout out to Andy Cruz, man. I ain't mad at that, but guys, dang. Like all potential, but my boy got 6 fights, bro.
Speaking of Andy, he said there's a reason why Javier won't say his name.
Uh-oh. Come on, man. No Cuban crime, man. What are we doing, man?
Andy been in Philly for too long.
Okay.
So, he talk a little different.
That's what I'm talking about. I love to see it. He said, I'm about
but
to.
But he was his dad, too.
He said he was his dad, too. It's crazy. Y'all here got multiple sons? Mijos? Yeah. You got Dave.
Legitimate.
Keyshawn Javier, his mijos? That's crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to go full Bollywood tonight. Hey, do your thing. Be safe out there, Praddock. But yeah, man, my guy, Ty, man, I appreciate you chopping it up, man. I'm about to go ahead and slide, brother. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, my guy.
Yes, sir, man. God bless. Catch you on the flip side. Shout out to my brother Ty for pulling up, man. I appreciate y'all rocking for real, man. Shout out for the renewal and the upgrade from my brother Oster, man. I appreciate y'all rocking. Don't forget to smack that like button if you haven't done so already. We will be back on in the morning, good Lord willing, as long as the good Lord permits to let us see the sun shine. We'll be back on in the morning, at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And tomorrow's Friday, man. Thank God for every day, but thank God it's Friday. You feel me? You feel me? You feel me? You feel me? So we gonna see, man. I appreciate y'all rocking as always, man. Don't forget to smack the like button. But most importantly, remember with God, we could do anything. Without God, we are nothing. The doctor's out. Peace.
From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold, we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.